Good afternoon, everyone. It's March 14th, 2020. I'm Eric. Are you a person who's outspoken about certain issues, uh, political issues, and law enforcement issues, maybe? If you are dissident in any way, you have a target on your back. If you are like me and regard the powers that shouldn't be, the state, the deep state, whatever you want to call this control apparatus we live in, you may be in danger. Because they will send a goon squad after you. And that goon squad may very well kill you. They may very well kill your child. And even worse. This one is from the Free Thought Project. Liberty activist murdered as he slept by SWAT team seizing his guns. And this happened in Silver Springs, Maryland. Duncan Lemp was his name. They say he was a talented computer programmer who was raising money to form a startup company to go out on his own. And this 21-year-old proponent of the Constitution had his entire life ahead of him. However, because the state of Maryland, I did say Maryland, didn't I? Wanted to take his guns. They wanted to take his guns. And they did. They took his life along with his guns. And this is why I've said from the very start, it's not a good idea for anyone to know what you have. It's not a good idea to have your name on a national background check. It gives them a list, a convenient list of places to go in times like this. So he was gunned down in his bed, according to his attorney, as he slept. In quotes, he was a talented, smart guy, super nice. Didn't deserve to get shot, said Samuel Reed, whose Canadian software company employed Lemp as an independent contractor. According to police, at approximately 4:30 a.m. on March 12th, so this is recent, really recent. When people's eyes are all on one thing over here, you can be assured that in the background there is other, more nefarious things going on. And I know I sound very, very cynical, okay? I know I do. However, it is worth noting that the history of our nation, the history since I've been born, gives me great reason to be cynical. So they sneak up on you around 4:30 a.m. and they execute you, right? According to police, at approximately 4:30 a.m. on March 12th, members of the Special Operations Division Tactical Unit were in the process of serving a high-risk search warrant related to firearms offenses at an address of 12200 block of St. James Road in Potomac. During the warrant service, the suspect confronted the officers and was fatally shot by an officer assigned to the tactical unit. So right off the bat, they lie. Despite claiming the warrant was high risk, Lemp's family, who says they read the warrant, claim it said nothing about a high risk. What's more, Lemp and his girlfriend, who was also shot during the raid, have no criminal record, according to his family. Police claim Lemp was not allowed to possess the firearm he owned, so they raided his house to take them. Detectives, in quotes, by the way, were following up on a complaint from the public that Lemp, though prohibited, was in possession of firearms, the release says without elaborating. Yeah. And you can rest assured that this will continue to happen at escalated levels as this coronavirus pandemic national emergency gets deeper and deeper. In the process, according to Renee Sandler, an attorney for the family, police opened fire through an outside window and murdered Lemp and shot his girlfriend as they both slept. So, execution of a liberty activist. A dissident. What else can I say to the people on my videos? Sometimes I'm just at a loss as to what to say, because we actually support, well, not me, but we collectively actually support our enslavement. And the shackles and cuffs are getting shorter and shorter. I mean, just think of all the hidden little gems in that bill the Senate just passed. Think of all the hidden agendas written in there. Think of the power transfer from you to them. Think of that. Think of how you are going to be liable for that huge bailout package for various industries that was just granted. I bet most of that money never makes it to Main Street. I bet most of that money never makes it to hardworking families, as they claim. There's a lot more going on, though. A whole bunch. For example, another child has been handcuffed and arrested for throwing a temper tantrum in, of all places, Florida schools. I mean, them people down in Florida, them cops down there, they sure are brave when it comes to smacking children around. But, when there's a so-called active shooter at one of their high schools there in Broward County, and they hide like bitches behind their cars. Real tough guys. Now, I'm not a tough guy, but I don't walk around with my arms flailed out like this and barking at people as if I have some magical powers over them either. I mean, I can take my lumps. I can. I have. Many times. And I've given lumps many times, but I don't have the desire to control people and brutalize them when they don't want to comply with me, when they think for themselves. Okay, so cop charged for refusing to investigate dozens of sex crimes, and he gets off with a $300 fine. And by the way, this seems to be the year where it seems like, anyway, more parents are killing their children. It really always puzzles me as to why people would do this. I mean, I'm by no stretch of the imagination what you would call classically moral, okay? I'm just not. I don't follow the Ten Commandments necessarily. I don't base my morals on the law or a religious book. You know what I base it on? I base my morals on my environment. Does the environment call for actions A, B, or C? And if the particular situation calls for one of these actions, then I will use them. Now, that's not to say that I would ever harm a child or engage in raping a woman or anything like that, because that is immoral. But, indulging yourself in sensory manipulation and liking women, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't base my sense of right and wrong on what I'm told I should. It's wrong to kill another human being for no reason. It's wrong. to just randomly pick somebody and kill them for no reason. It's equally wrong to randomly attack people. But when you have to survive, certain morality has to be purged because it weakens you. I once did a computer job for a person I would say is definitely what I would call a devout Christian. And he noticed that I had a couple rifles. I had a SKS and an AR-15 there, and he objected to my having these rifles. He objected specifically to their existence. And I asked him, well, why? Why? What's the deal? And he went on to explain that he was a person of faith. Person of faith. And so I proposed the question to him then. Because he said he would never, ever inflict violence on another human being, no matter what happened. No matter what happened. And so I asked him, so if somebody invaded your home, did a home invasion on you, and raped your wife and children in front of you, that wouldn't deserve, that wouldn't be a justified killing? In my mind, it would be. And any God worth a shit would never create something and expect that something to stand idly by as their family is raped and murdered in front of them. Right? I think it's pretty convenient that these rules apply to individuals like myself, but, the state, or should I say state-sponsored agencies, when they gun us down, when they murder us in our sleep, somehow it's okay. Let me get on to this next one here. I got another one. So, again, Wall Street, they get preferential treatment by our beloved leaders. Yeah, the Trojan horse Trump and his good old sidekick, Nancy Pelosi. Okay. The government fails at COVID-19 test distribution, but has $1.5 trillion for Wall Street. This one is from Matt Argust. COVID-19. Alright. Last week, in regards to the COVID-19 test, President Donald Trump told Americans that anyone who wants a test can get a test. And I'm sure Every single one of you has heard that soundbite repeatedly. Fast forward to this week, however, and we've found out just how untrue that statement is. Once the CDC declared COVID-19 to be a public health emergency that triggered regulations which prevented hospitals and private lab companies from developing their own tests. When it came time for them to release the test, the CDC botched the rollout of the one they developed, leaving doctors unable to properly diagnose and treat their patients. A government-sponsored shit show. In quotes, as a practice, I think I covered this one. As a practicing hospitalist, I'm furious that my ability to test patients for this disease is curtailed due to the CDC imposed red tape. Let's get down to the bailout part, shall we? Where's it at? Oh, and also we keep on hearing about what a great job they're doing. Right? You know, we are a fucking laughing stock. A laughing stock. And they are about to ignite a series of events in this country that will more than likely end up making this country a fucking wasteland. I hope I'm wrong. Part of me, anyway. I mean, I do have children. But on that note, I don't want my children growing up and believing that it's okay to behave like these people. They need to be dealt with. They need to be put in these places they've built for us. They need to be gotten rid of forever. The politics, the political bullshit needs to go away. And every time a person, a psychopath, sociopath, grabs for power, that person needs to be dealt with in the harshest of ways. Then, and only then, will the human race begin to be free. People want to say, well, who's going to protect the public? There's no one there protecting you now. Police show up after the home invasion. Very rarely do they show up while it's going on. They show up after your daughter's been raped. They show up after your child's been kidnapped. It's always after. You're not protected as the public. So what would be any different? I'll tell you what would be different. You would have the ability to deliver justice instantly. By your hands, on your terms. I want the best for the people who deserve it. I do. The people who get up every day and work hard and love their children and do their best do the right thing. But the rest of the people, the ones who are entitled, the self-entitled people, frankly, they can care less if they make it. I really can. And I hope these people, the political parasites, the entitled, I really do hope they get the worst of this. I really do. So, these people, Donald Trump, he's bailing out Nancy Pelosi too, the Senate, Congress, these people. They are bailing out businesses that were collapsing in the first place. Industries that are collapsing in the first place. More and more people are turning their backs on Big Pharma. So, they are really going to use this whole so-called pandemic fully to their advantage. They're going to do things like take people's firearms. They're going to do things like seize supply chains and dictate where they go. They're going to do things like social experiments to find out if there's any benefit to putting children with pedophiles. So, is this really the kind of place you want to live in, or would you rather live in a place that you're not detained and fined $3,000 for riding your own dirt bike on your own property? Oh, wait, you don't have property. It can just be taken from you. Right? Remember I covered this, people? It is alone. This wonderful man attacking a child with no arms and legs. You remember I covered this? I'm sure someone does. I mean, it's kind of an unusual case, right? But this kid was in a Tucson, Arizona, state-run boys' home, and he's a teenager who was also a quadruple amputee. Yeah. So, what a shitty circumstances this kid was handed, right? Parents abandoned him, has no arms or legs, and this scumbag cop showed him compassion by attacking him. There you go. See, there's some more of those morals coming out that I hold. So, most of the incident was caught on film, and both the teen as well as his friend who was filming the police contact, were arrested on disorderly conduct. This was the first time the Free Thought Project has ever reported on a police officer beating a quadruple amputee. And that was back some months ago in November. As we predicted back in November, despite the horrific video, the cop who attacked the teen got off scot-free. What a surprise. What a surprise. Does that surprise you? I mean, and they've been caught doing all manner of criminal activity. So, does it surprise you that one of these cops would have the cold-heartedness to attack a quadruple amputee orphan? I mean, you can't get any lower than that. Really. I guess sexually abusing him would have been lower than that, but that's pretty fucking low, right? Pretty low. I mean, that's the kind of shit you expect people to be damned to hell over, and not, being human. Oh, the state of decay. So, that's just more in your face fucking statism right there. Just bam. In your face murder. And it can happen to you. And, by the way, it will happen to a bunch of people during this power grab going on. I hope you're not one of the people caught up in it. I hope you and your family make it out to the other side. Because again, it's not the disease, although again, it is serious, but not more serious than government and their power grabs. Remember the term democide. Somewhere between 250 and 300 million people slaughtered at the hands of their government last century. And I think probably this century is going to prove to be much worse than that. Anyway, this will be my last for the day. I hope everyone has a great evening. And until next time, kill the state and live free.